Hi there, this is Joy Peck here with Beyond Boardroom Doors, and as promised, here's another LeaderSnip for you. And we hope that this latest snippet of learning will benefit you as you continue to aim high and think big this week. The LeaderSnip is 5 communication tips for today's leaders. And what's the secret to effective communication? Well, that's what you're about to find out. Now, wouldn't it be easier if we were all the same? If you wanted to make decisions quickly and you're in communication with somebody else who wants to make decisions quickly, great, that's easy. Or if you want to brainstorm and go after all these bright, shiny objects and have all these creative thought processes going on, well, wouldn't that be fun? Or if you really wanted all the details and then you wanted to go away and process it and then come back and share your brilliant ideas the next day, not in the moment, well, wouldn't that be great? Or if you were like, why won't they follow the system? We have a linear system. Why don't they just follow the structure that's in place? And you communicate with somebody else who understands that. Well, wouldn't that be easier? And yet, you and I both know that that is not the world that leaders encounter when they're communicating. So 5 communication tips for you this week. Number 1 is silence means silence. All right, this is like active listening or aggressive listening. Did you know that people speak at 100 to 175 words a minute, but they can listen intelligently at 600 to 800 words a minute? And since only a part of our mind is paying attention, it's easy to go off and think about other things while listening to someone, pretending you're paying attention, and you're really not. What's the cure for this? Listen with a purpose. When you're in communication, maybe you're gaining information, maybe you're understanding others or solving problems, maybe you're communicating to share an interest or to show support, but have a purpose to why you're in that communication. Because how will you know how they are unless you're silent? Wise men talk because they have something to say. Fools because they have to say something. So 5 communication tips. Number 1, silence means silence. Number 2 is paraphrase. Be clear and complete. This is super important. You want to be clear on what you heard, because some are better at articulating than others. So if you might be in communication with someone, you want to make sure that what they said is actually what they meant to tell you. Now, doesn't it make you crazy when you express a concern about what somebody has said and they answer in a completely different way? So paraphrase for clarity. Allow the other person to clarify it for themselves and what it meant. Because sometimes you don't even know what you mean until you actually say it. So number 3 is ask questions. They precede answers. All right, so not all questions are going to be appropriate for every interaction or every issue, but probe for more information. Be interested, be curious, and ask positive, empowering questions. And my favorite poem about this: I keep 6 honest serving men. They taught me all I knew. Their names are what and why and when and how and where and who. So back to our 5 communication tips. Number 4 is utilize a positive response. Be sure you're making eye contact. That signals interest in others, and people who make eye contact open the flow of communication, and you're conveying interest and credibility. Facial expressions, smile, it's a powerful cue. It transmits happiness and warmth and friendliness. And gestures, if you're like me and you're Italian, you're always going to be having gestures while you speak. But if you're not, and if your body language is not, if your hands are more to your side, it might be perceived as boring and stiff, and that's not what you are at all. But pay attention to your gestures. And your posture and body orientation. How are you standing? How are you sitting? How are you moving? Leaning forward communicates that you're approachable and you're interested. So pay attention to how your body language is. So 5 communication tips. Number 5 is master your state. If you were really looking forward to a meeting and you just got a phone call and they canceled the appointment on you, do not let that put you into a state of frustration, because you're going to diminish any ability you have to influence them. So just find out when is another time to meet. So be sure and close the loop by finding an alternative time. Just don't stop and let your frustration say, okay, goodbye, hang up. All right, if your manager's attitude gets to you, you might not be effective in your work or with other people around you. It is your responsibility to control your response. If somebody else disappoints you, it doesn't mean that you want to shut everything down. You want to be very resilient. That is mastering the art of communication. You're resilient. So number 1 is silence means silence. Number 2 is paraphrase. Number 3, be sure to ask questions. Number 4, utilize positive response with your body language and eye contact. Number 5, master your state. And you can have everything in life that you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. So again, this is Joy Pecchia with Beyond Boardroom Doors. I hope you enjoyed this week's LeaderSnip. So get out there and communicate more powerfully than ever before. And if I can be of any assistance to you, joy@beyondbbd.com.